What's good, YT family? It's your brother ELI coming to you with another KVA video. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Much appreciate the love. Much appreciate the support to the gang. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's enjoying life right now, man. Definitely like the video. Please, 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 please like the video, man. I'm seeing a lot of the views not matching up with the likes, man. We can't do that. We can't do that. Like the video. But it's been almost about a week, maybe a little bit less than a week since the drop of For the Dogs. Drake, Drizzy dropped dropped the album on us, you know what I'm saying? And, I'm getting mixed reviews. I'm getting, I'll be honest, I haven't watched the album full. I'm not, when it comes to me, like, it takes me a while to watch an album for the full, for its entirety. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of the people who could just dedicate, an hour or whatever, however long the album is. I can't dedicate a whole hour to just watching, listening to the album. But I've listened to a few songs, and a lot of them good. You know what I'm saying? I probably listened to like 5 or 6 songs, and out of that 5 or 6, I'll have to say probably 3 or 4 of them are like, okay, they good, they solid. You know what I'm saying? They're solid, right? But like I said, I'm gonna hold my review later on. I'm probably gonna make a separate video about, what I really truly feel about the album. But this is just a separate thing that I want to talk about, because I've heard people throw out this, oh, Drake is the GOAT, Drake is the best, Drake is the, you know what I'm saying, he's just the the all-time just best GOAT of, music and all this stuff. And I just have to give my opinion on that. Drake is an amazing artist. Don't get it twisted. He is a fabulous artist. He's just Drake has so many songs that come to my mind that I just truly love and have grown, you know what I'm saying, to just love, as far as like his artistry is concerned, right? And I'm talking about, I'm 28 years old, right? So like I'm talking about, like, I remember when Drake first came out. I remember when the So Far Gones and the Ransom songs, rap songs, the Brand News. Like, these were all the songs that, like, when he first came out under that Young Money banner, that he was just on one. And if I truly wish that, like, I'm happy that now that YouTube is kind of like around, right? Because, like, if you weren't around that time, it's no way possible you can see how this growth and see how this evolution of Drake came about. But that's where Drake came about. Like, that's where Drake came from. Like, he came from that, Lil Wayne was at his peak. Well, Lil Wayne was completely at his peak when Drake was born, in a way, right? Like, Wayne was already dropping, you know what I'm saying? The Carter 3 was already out, and Wayne was already on top of the music game. He was dominating the radio when the radio actually meant something. Obviously, the radio don't mean anything now, but Wayne was just on top of the world at this time. And then once Drake and Nicki Minaj came around, Tyga came a little bit later, and then the Young Money shit was just born. Drake was just there. Drake was just on another level, and he just seemed like a person who was such a complimentary player to the Young Money banner, right? And then obviously you started to see Drake came of his own. He started to become more, how would you say it? I want to say media ready, or he became more like, you know what I'm saying, like, known in the media, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, he was always doing features for a lot of guys, and he was doing a lot of songs with artists under the Young Money banner that just blew up, and it just kept him just in the game, as well as, you know what I'm saying, once he dropped Thank Me Later, which was his first official album. That's what, you know what I'm saying, Drake just became of the, you know what I'm saying, he just became, a household name. I wouldn't say a household name, but he just became somebody who everybody recognized and everybody acknowledged as somebody who was just coming up in the game. And then you still had the Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj was at her peak. Oh my God. Like, if you think like the whole Beyonce and all that stuff like that, like, I know, Beyonce is just, she's just she has a fan base just as unstoppable. But if you cannot discredit like Nicki Minaj's run in that time period, bro. You cannot discredit Nicki Minaj's run in that time period. She had such a time that was just, man, bro. Like, it's just, I probably got to do a separate video about that. Like, that her run was just different, and Drake was all throughout that, right? Um, and then, you know what I'm saying, he started to kind of branch off away from the Young Money scene as everybody got older and everybody got into their own lane. Even Nicki Minaj too, she got into her own lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, things changed. Then, Drake started to get into his own thing. He started to get into his own vibe. OVO became such a thing. And then, Take Care came out. And, then it was like, he was just dropping singles with a lot of artists that you can tell that due to his, you know what I'm saying, his notoriety and his writing ability, his talent, that, you know what I'm saying, everybody wanted to do a song with Drake at the time. Everybody wanted to do a song with Drake. Whether it was a hook or a verse or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, people just wanted to do a song with Drake. He just had he just had the magic touch at that point. And it was no problem with him at that point, as far as like him being just a top artist in the rap game. But I feel like once the Meek Mill Drake beef came out, and for some people it became such a shock that, like, once Meek came out with the whole, he doesn't write his own shit and blah 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 blah. Like, that really hurt a lot of fans. Like, I feel like that really created not like a wedge, but like because Meek was one of those guys who was like a people's favorite, and then Drake was already in the industry at this point. At that point, it really, you can tell that it really started the trend of being someone who's just a fan of Drake, not necessarily a fan of the music, right? Like, and I think he started to even embrace that. He started to even embrace not being a hip hop guy, because that's where he came up under. He came up under the banner of trying to be the protege to Wayne. And then once the whole Meek Mill thing happened, it was like he started to embrace the fact that he's like, well, I don't really care if I write my music. I don't care if y'all think I write my music. I'm not a rapper. I'm not this. I'm not that. Like, I'm just an artist, which is great, right? Because there under the band, when it comes to the concept of being an artist, like, you don't have the pressure of necessarily writing every single thing, writing every hook, writing every verse, writing every chorus, writing every bridge. Like, a lot of people are just unaware of like how the music business operates and how songs are created. Like, a lot of these artists are not writing a lot of things that you guys think that they are writing, right? But that's, like I said, that's a separate conversation. But he started to embrace that, and it's kind of like his status in music became more bigger than how he was seen as far as hip hop was concerned, right? And this is why I debate so much about when people say like, "Oh, is he the GOAT? Is he the GOAT? Is he the GOAT?" I personally don't see Drake as the GOAT. It's impossible for me to see Drake as the GOAT. Not necessarily because of his talent level, but it's because he kind of left that stigma, or he left that culture of being a rapper slash MC a long time ago, and he just became somebody who just makes great music. And this was later in his career. This was later in his career. And when I say later, I'm talking about like, 2010s and 2015s, 2016s. Like, he was making great songs, but at the same time, like, we didn't see him in the same light as we seen a person like Wayne, or we seen a person like Jay-Z, or we seen a person like Biggie, and all this stuff like that. Like, people who we all acknowledge as the GOATs. We didn't see him specifically as that kind of person. We'd seen him as just an amazing artist who's making an amazing music, doing songs with other guys, and he's becoming of his own. You can kind of tell that when he first started with Young Money, or when he first started with Wayne, that he was really much somebody who was not really, I don't want to say confident. Like, he was confident in his ability, but you could tell, like, Drake reminds me of those guys who, like, being that, he's, he's half black and half, half white or whatever, half Jewish, whatever it may be. He's one of those people who, he didn't grow up around the cultures that, all of us all grew up. So it's like, when music was like his introduction to like black culture in a way. And this is no knock to him, but this is just the truth. Like, it seemed like music was the first time that he was kind of, introduced to being the black experience in America, which is where he made majority of his fame, majority of his money, majority of his likeness and all this stuff like that. That's where he grew all of his, his status and his fame, through American black culture, who he might not have identified with completely at the time. So once he did that, as you can see now, he's definitely has a confidence about him. He has an aura and a swagger and a stuff of a black person. You can tell that, he never really, to call himself the GOAT, it's impossible to do that, especially when it comes to hip hop, because he doesn't initially embrace or initially understand what that may mean. All of the black artists or the hip hop artists of today, of the last 20 to 30 years, Drake doesn't mimic or behave like any of those guys that we all once called the greats. He doesn't rap like Wayne. He doesn't storytell like Jay-Z. He definitely doesn't storytell like Nas. He doesn't rap like Biggie. He doesn't have a flow and a cadence like Ice-T. He doesn't like it like this. These are all people who are all the, he doesn't rap like Scarface, or he doesn't, like, these are all people in hip hop that were considered greats, GOATs. Andre 3000. I can go to who else? Common. People who, he eventually beefed with Common at one point, which I really don't understand what that beef really came from. But from what I know, that beef came from that Drake was so much. A lot of these artists that I'm talking about, they feel so. I don't know. I don't want to speak for them, but I feel like they feel as if they are slighted by the industry, by calling him the GOAT, when they have been doing those same exact things and talking about those same exact things, and even at a higher level than Drake has ever done for a while, and they haven't been considered a GOAT. And even when you consider him against his peers, right? Like people like J. Cole, Kendrick, Big Sean, even though I love Big Sean, but I know people, when it comes to fame, they don't consider Big Sean this guy. But I want to say, like, he's one of his peers because he kind of blew up the same time he blew up. He's not the best rapper. He's not the better rapper out of any of those three guys. Out of any of those three guys, he is not the better rapper of Kendrick, Cole, and Big Sean. It's no debate. I don't want to. If people say, well, that's not true, da, 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 bro, you have not listened to any of those guys' music if you think that Drake is better than those three guys. So if he's not better than those three guys, how could he be considered the GOAT? How can he be considered the GOAT when he's not even he's the fourth best rapper, especially when it comes to hip hop. You're talking about the GOAT of hip hop. He's not the best rapper of the three guys that are still active in the industry today. So, and like I said, this is not to knock him. This is not to, I love Drake. I love Drake's music. I love what he does to the game. It's such a beautiful thing. And he is extremely talented, just overwhelmingly talented, immensely talented. But he is not the GOAT of hip hop. He's not the GOAT of rap. He's just not. He's just not. Every time you put him on a song with people who are actually trying to push that same thing, that same mindset of being a rapper of hip hop, he's not of that level. He's never been of that level. He's just never been of that level. I just hate to say it. He's just not. And this is not. And like I said, I still love Drake, but he's in a own lane of artists. Like he's just not. I don't know. It's not no knock at him. Like I said, it's not no knock on him. I still love Drake. I'm still a fan of Drake, and I still have to listen more to this album to see, you know what I'm saying, like how good it is and all this stuff like that. I'm not one of the people who can actually dissect the album, you know, in a week or so. But I'm just saying, like, you know, just to say that Drake is the GOAT is just not true. He's not the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? He's an amazing artist, but he's just not the GOAT. Let me know what you guys think, man. Comment below, like, comment, definitely subscribe. What do you guys think? Do you guys think he's the GOAT? You guys think he's the best rapper of all time? Like I said, give me your reasons why you think that, man. That's a real heavy thing to say. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe, man. I hope everybody's doing well. Let me know something. Holler at me later. Peace.